Hey, fellow mathers, before we get into this episode, we want to share with you how you can get access to free content, professional learning that will keep your students engaged and doing the math that matters. Get ready to go to this link, mathisfigureoutable.com/challenge.
That's right. Registration is open for the free Math is Figureoutable Challenge that's starting May 15th and runs to the 17th at 7 p.m. Central. We're going to have 3 nights jam-packed with learning and routines that you can take straight to your classroom.
In these challenges, we have a great time. We do some math, talk about classroom experiences, give away super cool bonuses and prizes. You won't just walk away with routines that are naturally engaging and encourage your students to think mathematically. You'll also have a chance to win over 6K worth in prizes, including a few virtual PD sessions for your school. I'll be joined by my wonderful co-host Kim and special guest Jenna Labe.
You can register at mathisfigureoutable.com/challenge for a fantastic learning experience. That's mathisfigureoutable.com/challenge. Now on to the show.
Hey, fellow mathematicians, welcome to the podcast where math is figure-outable. I'm Pam.
And I'm Kim.
And this episode is a Math Strat Chat episode. What is Math Strat Chat? Well, every Wednesday evening, I throw out a math problem on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all the social media, and people from around the world chat about the strategies they use. About 1% of the time, someone uses an algorithm. That's not very interesting. So we just focus on what everybody else is thinking, and it's super fun to hear how people are reasoning about the relationships.
Absolutely. So this Wednesday, our math problem was 5/6 minus 1/4. How would you solve this problem? Pause the podcast, solve it any way you want. Remember that the problem was 5/6 minus 1/4. Solve it, and then come on back to hear how we solve it.
All right, Kim. So I've been thinking about what you did last time. And
Okay.
I thought in our last problem, because listeners, you might notice that we're kind of doing problems in a sequence. So last week's problem could be somewhat related to this week's problem. So this week's problem, 5/6 minus 1/4, I decided to go with minutes. And so I thought about 5/6 of an hour. I had to think about what 1/6 of an hour is. And so a sixth of an hour, that's like 60 divided by 6 is sort of 10 minutes. And so a 10-minute chunk would be 1/6 of an hour. I'm going to be real Kim-like, and I'm going to back up that 1/6 from the total. So I could do 5 times 10 minutes, but instead I'm going to take 10 minutes away from 60 minutes. So I end up with 50 minutes. So 5/6 of an hour is 50 minutes. A fourth of an hour is 15 minutes. So 50 minutes minus 15 is that 35 minutes. So then I'm thinking about 35/60ths. And honestly, how I go from 35/60ths, if I wanted to create an equivalent fraction that had no common factors, then I would think about where 35 is on a clock. And that's on the 7. And I know that then it's 7 out of the 12 5-minute chunks are 7/12.
Nice.
Boy,
It's really funny that you did what I did because I did what you did last week.
last week.
Yeah,
Well, can I
I
just tell
did.
you how fun it is for me to, when I see 35/60ths, that I don't even, I've gotten so, I've had enough practice, enough experience. That's the word I want. Enough experience thinking about time now and using a clock as a model that I see that 35 and I'm just instantly, bam, 7.
Yeah.
It's just like 7/12. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So you tried what I did last week. Talk to us about that.
I did. So I was thinking about 5/6 of a clock. And so for each of those, if I thought about, let's see if I can explain this. Talking about your thinking is hard sometimes.
Absolutely.
So if there are 12 5-minute chunks on a clock, but I was really wanting to think about it in terms of 6 chunks on the clock, then every 2 clicks of the 5-minute hand would be a 6. So if my minute hand went from the 12 and it clicked all the way to the 2, then that would be a 6th of the clock. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because 1/6 is twice as big as 1/12.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying. So if you can think about 12ths being every time you go sort of to a number, if the minute hand goes to a number that's a 12th, then you'd have to go 2 of those to get a 6th.
Yes.
1/6. Yeah.
Right. So then that would mean that 5 of those 6th would be on the 10 of the clock. So
Mhm.
10 out of the 12 5-minute chunks would be 5/6.
Uh-huh.
So I just wrote down 10/12. And then I thought about the fourth of the clock would be like you described last week. It would be when the 5-minute hand or the minute hand had gone all the way to the 3. So 3 out of 12. So then I had written down 10/12 minus 3/12, and then that gave me 7/12.
Mhm.
And it's funny that you say that because I was like, oh, am I right? But when I saw the 7, I was like, oh, that's 35 minutes, like you kind of described.
Mm.
And I thought 7/12 is also 35/60ths. So I knew that I was correct.
Damn.
Yeah.
Nice. So, I'm just gonna ask you, that took you a hot minute to explain to us your thinking.
Yes, it
Uh,
did.
did it actually take you that long to when you said, "So I wrote
To
down
think
10
about.
12s." Yeah.
No, it didn't. I kind of closed my eyes and I pictured the clock. And so when I pictured 5/6, I knew right away, oh, that's on the 10. But I don't know that saying that's on the 10 would make a
Would
lot of
explain
sense
your
to
thinking.
everybody. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
And when I
yeah.
saw 1/4, I was like, oh, that's on the 3. So the 10 amount minus the 3 amount, that's the 7 amount. And so it went pretty quickly. It's just talking about it takes a little bit of time to make sure that I'm making sense.
Sure, absolutely. Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So we can't wait to hear your math strategy. I wonder if it was like Pam's or maybe like mine or something entirely different. Represent your thinking if you can and take a picture of your work or screenshot your phone and tell the world on social media. While you're there, we would love it if you checked out what other people did and comment on their thinking as well.
Yeah, and please tag me on Twitter at PW Harris or Instagram, Pam Harris _math, and Facebook, Pam Harris Author Mathematics Education, and use the hashtag MathStratChat. And make sure you check out the next Math Strat Chat problem every Wednesday evening around 7 p.m. Central Time, and pop back here to hear how we're thinking about the problem. We love having you as part of the Math is Figureoutable movement. Let's keep spreading the word that math is figureoutable. Thank you for listening and making math more figureoutable.
To learn even more, make sure you register for our free challenge at mathisfigureoutable.com/challenge. You are not going to want to miss the evenings of May 15th through 17th, starting at 7 p.m. Central.
Math teaching, go register now. That's mathisfigureoutable.com/challenge. Join us to make math more and more figureoutable. And if you can't join live, register and we'll send you access to the recordings. We'll see you there.